We have to enable it here later, isn't it? Nagaraj. How are you? I didn't get your PPT. Good evening, Hari Krishnan. Oh, he's gone. This is better, and whatever you're doing now is better. The other one was a bit dark. Sorry? What device are you on? And unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Good evening, Hari Krishnan. See, don't keep two devices close to each other, then your voice will break. So, the one your video is on, you keep that device. Unmute this device. Good evening, Hari Krishnan. Raji, hi. Again, Hari Krishnan and Vardhe, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
Yeah, now you're unmuted. Now we can hear you. Yeah, Hari Krishnan and Vardhe. There is another. No, that's not yours. But yours is not showing up here at all. Oh, Lenovo. Okay. Lenovo tab.
Oh, okay.
Anne, listen to me, Anne. Please listen to me. அவங்க ரெண்டு டிவைஸ வச்சுட்டு ஒன்னு அன்மியூட்டடா இருக்கு.
Can't see you.
And now we can't see you. She'll come. The video is on. moved out because she was having the other device. திருப்பி அந்த device போட்டாங்க.
Okay.
அதுவும் இதுவும் is giving a cross connection. And unmute yourself.
Or you send her a message?
No, I was. She'll come. Nagaraj, why on earth are you live streaming? And all this disturbances and all will get live streamed. We should only live stream when we start. They want to finish their job and run away.
Can't hear you, Doc.
She's not listening to me. She's got these two devices. It's giving static, cross static.
Yes.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Yaru.
Sangeeta Saravanan.
Oh, hi.
Oh, you ring her up and tell her?
I've told her.
Okay.
அவங்க பாட்டுக்கு அப்போல இருந்து ஸ்டபானா பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க. And if you have both devices, your voice will not come properly. She's got video on one device and voice on another device, and it's causing cross this thing. Please cut off one device. Use only one device. See, நான் இது unmute பண்ணி இதை mute பண்ணிட்டேன்னா the sound changes பாரு. She's getting that cross this thing. When two microphones are near each other, they will give one kind of.
இப்ப சத்தமே வரல.
No, I muted her because she's not listening. So எல்லாரும் ஒரு மாதிரி கிரானிக்கா லேட்டா ஜாயின் பண்றாங்கப்பா. 11 பேர் ரெஜிஸ்டர் பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
Okay. Wait.
We have to wait only. Hi, Shireen. I'll send a message to all these people that we are waiting for them. Unable to join, it says ID is invalid. And how did you join? ஒண்ணுமே பேசவே மாட்டாங்க.
Hello, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, Hari Krishnan.
Good evening, ma'am.
What is the ID you used to join?
VHS 0056.
Chichi, that is your ID, man. Inga Zoom ID கேக்குறேன்.
Zoom idea.
Raji, நீ சொல்லுமா. What your சொல்லு?
85
85
00
00
55
55
72
72
165
165. அப்புறம் பாஸ்கோட்
514
514
Correct.
double
70.
770.
Amma.
It is correct only.
It's correct only.
Yeah,
Parveen,
I got it. I got it. First it
Yeah, I
said
was just
invalid. Now
thinking.
I got it.
I was just wondering why are you in vertical? Turn your
I
phone.
don't know why. It's okay now.
Right. That's why I was thinking, oh my God, all the others are not joining because of the wrong ID or what.
Yeah, it was
Once
telling
you-
it was
Once you
telling
send the message. Okay. What is this? Anne is saying. Everybody has tech issues, because none of us are really tech savvy that way. She's using two devices and she says you cannot hear my sound because she's getting this cross static. And you கேட்கவே மாட்டேன்றாங்களே.
கேக்குறேன் மேடம் சொல்லுங்க மேம் கேக்குறேன்.
இல்ல நீங்க இல்ல.
சொல்லுங்க.
And the Anne என்றவங்கள I'm asking her to unmute. She's not unmuting. I can't unmute her or else I'll try. You have to ask only. They have to unmute. ரெண்டுமே மியூட்ல வச்சிருக்காங்க. She's sending me a message saying I cannot hear her. She's not unmuting.
Please unmute, ma'am.
And I'm telling her for a long time now. I'm sending her messages also, but she's not. Enmo 11 and anupranga, June equal LMKI in enmo anupranga. I have no idea what this is all about. Okay, in another 1 minute, we'll get started because there are a few more people expected, but I'm not at all sure what is happening. Why there is a delay in, see, there are 13 registrations. Is there any problem in the link? I don't know.
No.
No problem.
The
No
EG, I mean, email உனக்கு வந்தது இல்லையா register பண்ணதுக்கு அப்புறம்?
Yeah.
Then that's correct only. Then people register and don't turn up, is it? Okay, Jayalakshmi has come. Ella late comers, I think. Anyway, that's okay.
மேடம் நீங்க 2 minutes ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல நோக்கணும்.
என்னம்மா நான் 5 minutes முன்னையே லாகின் பண்ணேன்.
முன்னாடியே வந்துட்டீங்களா மேம்? எல்லாம் 6:30 தான் வரும்னு சொல்லிட்டு இருப்பாங்க மேம். வேற
அது
ஒண்ணும்.
சரிப்பா 6:30 6:45 ஆயிடுச்சே.
அதான் ஒண்ணும் வராம இருக்கு.
அது நம்ம இந்தியன் பங்க்சுவாலிட்டி. Anyway, let us say hello to those who are here.
Yes.
Shireen, are you here? I can see a device saying share, but I'm not hearing anybody or seeing anybody. Sometimes in my joint எங்கேயாவது போயிடுவாங்க. Because we haven't started yet. The Anne சொன்ன பேச்சே கேட்க மாட்டேங்குது. She's one of the speakers. I'm not able to unmute her. I'm sending her messages. Anyway, I called her, everything I did. Okay. Now, normally I told the speakers they can join around 7. So that may be one of the reasons why. No, the speakers, not the audience. Audience people were told 6:30 and they're the 13 registrations are the audience.
Okay.
The speakers are additional people to that. So, but since the audience is slow in joining, let us all talk informally about what or how all of you are as caregivers. We can talk informally and you can all get special talking time again later. Okay. Hari Krishnan.
சொல்லுங்க மேடம். மேம் குட் மார்னிங். சே குட் ஈவினிங்.
நீங்க வீடியோ ஆன் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. கீழே ஒரு கேமரா மாதிரி இருக்கும் பாருங்க, அதை பிரஸ் பண்ணீங்கன்னா வீடியோ ஆன் ஆகும்.
வர எஸ் மேம்.
Parveen, why are you looking so tired, Parveen?
Not well at all.
What happened?
I've got my nose is running, cough, down. Yeah.
Okay, because you're looking quite tired.
Yeah, not well at all. Zoom.
Anyway, thanks for coming back. என்னப்பா இவ்வளவு நேரம் ஆச்சு?
I've always wanted
வீடியோ தர.
I didn't go to work today, so I was told my own fine because I wasn't well.
Okay.
Please, always look forward to your program. I never get to be in your programs. Time on a set.
Share is Sharina.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. எங்க இருக்க நீ? Good evening. Right. நீ யாரு என்னன்னு அறிமுகப்படுத்திக்கோ to everybody. Introduce yourself.
My name is R. Hari Krishnan. I'm epistling patient in 20 years above.
அது ரொம்ப டீடைல்ஸ் உங்க இல்னஸ் பத்தி சொல்ல வேண்டிய அவசியம் இல்ல. என்ன வேலை பாக்குறீங்க அந்த மாதிரி உங்க லைஃப்.
I'm TNST Transport Corporation Limited head office Vilupuram. Office assistant madam.
Office assistant.
Almost.
இந்த கேர் கிவர்னா அந்த வார்த்தைக்கு என்ன உங்களுக்கு புரிஞ்சுது?
புரியல என்ன மேடம்?
கேர் கிவர் இந்த மீட்டிங் நடத்துறோம்ல.
Yes ma'am.
It is about caregiver wellness. Caregiverனா யாரு என்னன்னு உங்களுக்கு புரியுது?
ஜஸ்ட் நான் இப்பதான் சென்னை வந்துட்டு வந்தேன். ஒரு ஃபிராக்சர் ஆனதால சென்னை ராமச்சந்திரா சர்ஜரி பண்ணியிருந்தாங்க. அது ஃபிராக்சர் ஸ்டிச்சிங் பிரிச்சுட்டு இப்பதான் வந்தேன் மேடம். 6:30 உங்க இப்ப ப்ரோக்ராம் இருந்தால நான் டக்குனு உடனே இப்பதான் ஆன் பண்ணேன்.
அப்படி இல்லப்பா, இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமோட நோக்கம் உனக்கு புரிஞ்சிருக்கா தெரியுதான்னு கேக்குறேன்.
புரிஞ்சுங்க மேடம். என்ன என்ன இருக்குன்றது தெரிஞ்சுக்கலாம்னு சொல்லிட்டு. அதாவது
உங்களுக்கு புதுசா இருக்கீங்க, சோ என்னன்னு தெரிஞ்சுக்கிறதுக்கு.
ஆமா.
ரைட். Sangeeta, you've been here before, but you can introduce yourself and please unmute yourself. And it's that little mic button at the bottom on the left side of the screen. I'll give her a call one more time. And if she's logged in on the phone, now phone பண்ணேன்னா it will interfere with her this thing in நினைச்சேன். அவங்க காதுல போனை வச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க, but she's not. Anyway, Sangeeta, you introduce yourself to everybody. Sangeeta.
I am Sangeeta Saravanan, homemaker. வேற எதுவும் சொல்றதுக்கு இல்ல.
No, and she's concerned about caregiving because she is
Yeah,
not sure.
caregiver.
சொல்லுங்க.
நான் என் கிட்ஸ பாத்துக்கிறேன், என்னோட மதர் நான் பாத்துட்டு இருந்தேன். அப்புறம் எல்லாருக்குமே ஈவன் என்னோட மெய்டு கூட உடம்பு சரியில்லைன்னா நான் எல்லா இடத்துக்கும் கூட்டிட்டு போவேன் வருவேன். மேக்சிமம் என்னோட ஹஸ்பண்ட், என் குழந்தை, அவங்களதான் நான் கேர்கிவர். எனக்குன்னு ஒரு நிறைய விஷயங்களை செஞ்சுட்டு கடைசியில ஓகே நம்ம ஏதாவது ஒண்ணு நமக்காக பண்ணிக்கணும், நமக்காக செய்யணும் அப்படின்ற தாட் வந்த உடனே நிறைய தேட ஆரம்பிச்சேன். அப்புறம் இன்ஸ்டாகிராம்ல கிடைச்சது. சரி ஓகே இதுவும் ட்ரை பண்ணுவோமே, என்ன இருக்குன்னு கேட்போம் அப்படின்னு தான் லாஸ்ட் சீசன் நான் அட்டன் பண்ணேன். அப்புறம் ஓகே இதுவும் போடுவோம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இதுக்கும் வந்திருக்கேன். எப்படி எல்லாம் என்ன கேர் பண்ணிக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கறத பத்தி இதுல இருந்து லேர்ன் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு.
சரி, Parveen,
Yes.
you want to?
Good evening, everybody. எத்தனை பேர் நம்ம 10 பேர் இருக்கிறோம், 9 பேர் இருக்கிறோம். So we just say, now I am a grandmom. இருந்தா கூட கல்யாணம் ஆனதுல இருந்து I have been blessed with taking care of my husband's mother, grandmother, and then my parents, my husband's parents. அந்த மாதிரி I mean, I'm basically in the health. Madam knows that Huma Hospital is a huge organization that I'm also involved. அது இல்லாம on a personal front, நாங்க எவ்வளோ டொமஸ்டிக் ஹெல்ப் இருந்தாலும், குக்ஸ் இருந்தாலும், சர்வன்ட்ஸ் இருந்தாலும், வீட்டுல பெரியவங்களுக்கு உடம்பு சரியில்லைன்னா நம்ம தான் பார்க்க வேண்டிய அவசியம் இருக்குது. The sense we are the main people who won't take any holidays off, who cannot have a Sunday off, மத்தவங்கள மாதிரி. So மேடம் எனக்கு கேட்கறச்சு, I thought I have much to tell people what to do ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு. இங்க எல்லாரும் கேர் கிவர்ஸா? Are they all caregivers? I just want to know what kind of audience I'm addressing to.
Yes, we are all. Hi,
Okay.
Parveen, this is Shireen.
Okay, that case I would like to say, கேர் கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா அது எத்தனையோ இருக்கும், பேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கணும், என்ன சொல்றது, நல்லா கொடுக்கணும், எல்லா மாதிரியும் ஒரு சாக்ரிஃபைஸ் பண்ணணும், அப்படி இப்படி நிறைய லிஸ்ட் போடுவாங்க. ஆனா மெயின் என்னன்னா பிசிக்கல் ஸ்ட்ரென்த் அண்ட் மென்டல் ஃபார்ட்டிடியூட் இருக்கணும். மென்டலி ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்கணும், பிசிக்கலி ஸ்ட்ராங்கா இருக்கணும். ஏன்னா ஒரு பெரியவங்களை பாத்துக்கிறது வந்துட்டு ஒரு பெரிய விஷயம். அதுல பிசிக்கல் ஸ்ட்ரென்த் நம்மளுக்கு தேவை, இமோஷனல் ஸ்ட்ரென்த் ரொம்ப தேவை. இப்போ ஒரு குழந்தை பிறக்குது, 1 வருஷம் 2 வருஷம்னா தானாவே அந்த குழந்தை டேக்ஸ் கேர் ஆஃப் இட் செல்ஃப். முதல்ல மடியில வச்சுட்டு இருப்போம், அப்புறம் ஓடும், பண்ணும், கொடுப்போம், அதுக்கப்புறம் அதே உட்காந்து சாப்பிடும். உடனே பெரியவங்க வந்துட்டு ரொம்ப வருஷம் அவங்க டிட்டோரேட் ஆயிட்டே போவாங்க. குழந்தை வளர்ந்துட்டே போகும், ஆனா பெரியவங்க டிட்டோரேட் ஆயிட்டே போவாங்க. ஏன்னா ஒரு நாள் இருந்து மறுநாள் தே ரிக்வயர் மோர் கேர், அதுல இருந்து மறுநாள் தே ரிக்வயர் மோர் கேர். அதெல்லாம் நம்மளே தயாரிச்சு பண்ணிக்கணும், மென்டலி நம்ம பண்ணிக்கணும். அது வந்து இட் ரிக்வயர்ஸ் லாட் ஆஃப் மென்டல் ஃபார்ட்டிடியூட், ஒரு ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் ஸ்ட்ரென்த். அப்புறம் வந்துட்டு சின்ன குழந்தைங்கள ஏதாவது பண்ணா போட்டு அடிச்சு நம்ம தப்பு செய்யக்கூடாதுன்னு சொல்லலாம், அது பெரியவங்களை செய்ய முடியாது. நம்ம we have to tell them. நான் அன்பாதான் சொல்லணும். அடம் பிடிப்பாங்க குழந்தை மாதிரி, ஆனா அடம் பிடிச்ச குழந்தைக்கு நம்ம வேற எல்லாம் பண்ணலாம், இவங்களை ஒண்ணும் பண்ண முடியாது. அது மாதிரி அவங்களால டீல் பண்றதே ஒரு இமோஷனல், என்ன சொல்றது, ஒரு இட்ஸ் a big huge emotional task அவங்க பண்றது. அது அவங்க நல்லா இருந்தாங்க காலத்துல, எப்படி இருந்தாங்க, இப்படி இருக்காங்களே, அது ஒரு நம்ம பக்கம் இருக்கும். இப்போ நம்ம வாழ்க்கையை பார்த்தா நம்ம வாழ்க்கையில எத்தனையோ செய்யலாமே, முடியாம நம்ம இங்கேயே இப்படி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்க வேண்டுமே, அந்த ஒரு தாட்டும் வரும். ஆனா அதெல்லாம் கடந்து போனாங்கன்னா யூ பிகம் அ வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங் பர்சன் இவென்ச்சுவலி அலாங் த ஏஜ். ஃபியூ இயர்ஸ்க்கு அப்புறம் இது பண்ணும்போது இது மாதிரி ஒரு ஹிமாலயன் டாஸ்க், ஒரு அச்சீவ்மெண்ட் பண்ண மாதிரி ஆயிடுது. இஃப் யூ சென்ட் தம், யூனோ மை மதர்லாம் அதெல்லாம் 90s இருந்து இப்பதான் 1 or 2 years they passed away. பட் கொஞ்சம் இருந்தா கூட I just attend to them. I thought it was the most important duty. Of course nurses இருக்கிறாங்க, சர்வன்ட்ஸ் இருக்கிறாங்க, எல்லாம் இருக்கிறாங்க. இருந்தாலும் அவங்க தும்முனா கூட நம்ம பார்த்தாதான் சொல்லுவாங்க, மத்தவங்க they won't கேர். அது ஒரு கேர் கேர்ங்கிறது ஒரு கம்ப்ளீட் டெடிகேஷனா இருந்து கம்ப்ளீட் அவங்களை சந்தோஷப்படுத்தி அவங்களுக்கு மென்டலி அவங்களுக்கு நிதானமா, தட் இஸ் தே ஷுட் ஃபீல், அவங்க நம்மளுக்கு தாய் மாதிரி அவங்க பார்க்கணும். அந்த அளவுக்கு நம்ம போனாதான் அவங்களுக்கு அது இட்ஸ் a big task. ஆனா அது செஞ்சா இட்ஸ் லைக் an achievement in life. எவ்வளவோ அச்சீவ்மெண்ட் வரலாம். இப்போ I have enough time for any achievement that I want and I'm able to do with all the strength I gained throughout these years. அது சொல்ல, it has made me a stronger person, better person, more patient person. அதெல்லாம் I think the training. Madam, you're on mute. Dr. Kritik,
during the time you were giving care, did you have any health challenges? Did you feel some days, oh my God, this is it, I cannot do anymore, and the mari feeling vandada? Did you ever feel overwhelmed? Did you feel, why should only I do, why isn't somebody else doing? And the mari, did you have those kind of negative thoughts and emotions coming? And when they did come, how did you handle it?
When I was 18 years, I was married and I was left with taking care of my husband's mother's mother. My mother was a very high profile official in the corporation, having about 600-700 schools under her. 600-700 schools, thousands of teachers and administrators. We were a big task she had. I was doing my graduation also. And that grandmother has 17 grandchildren, 3 children and 7 grandchildren. Why me? Why should I? That was a daughter-in-law. My husband was doing his medicine. He was your student as well. So I was also pursuing my graduation. College and I was pregnant also at that time. It was a huge task. What mean? Then I would just pray and think, okay, God has chosen me. I think the spirituality made me feel good about what I was doing. Otherwise, I think I would have been a complete mess. I think the spirituality is necessary to evolve as a human being. Down the line, of course, when my parents, my 2 brothers are in US, were in US when my brother, and I had to take care of my parents also. Of course, my parents-in-law, my husband was only child. So there was no option that anybody else could do. So I took it as my responsibility, as 4 old children were there. So
that's a good way of looking at it.
If it were my children, so I took it like that. Of course, there are high-profile people. You know them.
Yeah.
My mother, the dean of Madras Medical College in GH, and my brother was in charge of the entire Tamil Nadu, was the director of public health. It was varthama irundhathu. So I was trying to give what best I could. Although I was only child for all the 4 old people. As my husband was supporting, but not the major player. At home, the lady is always the major player.
Yeah.
I think you have to evolve as a human being to feel at peace. Otherwise, not one day you can go through that stress.
Correct. So thank you so much, Parveen. Jayalakshmi, you've raised your hand. Please go ahead.
No. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to mark my presence. I have nothing to share.
Nanya, why don't you share? I'm sure all of us have been through some amount of caregiving in our lives.
Yes, of course, I have done my part.
Just konja share pannunga, because this is an interactive session.
Yeah, I happen to take active participation only at home, not outside.
Yeah, veetla dhaan solrom.
Veetla dhaan. I have done my duty as a housewife. Nothing much to share.
Okay, you have not had to take care of somebody.
No, that keeps coming on and off. I have taken care of people. But I wouldn't say it is not an impossible task. Of course, I had my health reasons and I had to take care of myself and also do the things. It was a little tough and it's still tough. I'm facing them every day and I'm trying to manage.
Okay, that's good. Raji, do you want to share your experiences? Yeah.
Yes. I've been a caregiver right from the age I was 46. I've taken care of my mother-in-law, father-in-law, mother, and my father, who's a cancer survivor. Though my in-laws and mother passed away, my father's now survived the cancer treatment and he's hale and healthy now and he's independent, absolutely no problem. But definitely, as a caregiver, the first and foremost thing what we often neglect is our health, which definitely I did in my case. Because we used to think, going in and out of the hospital, taking care of them, giving their medicines on time, we forget taking our own medicines. And there's nobody to remind us also because it's taken for granted we would have taken our medicines. So, and it took a toll on my health, definitely. And yes, at that point, and sometimes like how the other speaker said, a sense of frustration also sets in. Because why only me? Though there are other siblings, why only me? But sometimes, like I used to think maybe I'm the chosen one to take care of them. Because even if you have 5 to 8 children, sometimes there's only one who's chosen to take care. So I took it that way. And definitely I had a supportive husband. And I should mention at this stage that even doctor was very supportive and she gave a lot of advice also. So definitely I had help from all the sides. And definitely, if I always feel, these things you can't share with everybody on a day-to-day basis. Like, see, today this happened, that happened, because it is so depressing to talk about all these things. So we used to just keep it to ourselves. And I sometimes feel that, if there was a club like how now we are having Aloha, a caregiver club, then definitely, we could have all met, shared at the end, knowing very well that we are not the only ones who are doing it. And we could come and share, and even cope, like know how each one is coping and learn life skills also. So this is a very good initiative. And I wish more people come forward and join, because you know that you are not the only one. There are so many people taking care of, in their own way. So this is my experience as a caregiver. I definitely feel that as a caregiver, first and foremost, never neglect your health, because if you fall sick, that's it. There's no one else to take care. So I think we should prioritize our health.
Thank you, Raji. Thank you very much. Joya, welcome. Unmute yourself.
Good evening. Sorry, Dr. Chari, I got late.
It's okay. Don't start
traffic
with an
jam is
apology.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Don't start with an apology. I know what you're going through.
No, the
But
traffic
it's very
has
nice
increased
of
a
you
lot
to
in
spare the
Bangalore.
time to be here.
No.
Go
So
ahead.
hi everyone. It's so nice to see all of you all, and it was so lovely to hear you, Lenova, because it really helps psychologically. Where it helps
Her name is
knowing
Raji.
Raji, Raji. I have it
joining
written
from
Lenova.
Lenovo.
I didn't even read the full tablet
said,
after
"Hello,
that.
Lenovo."
Shows my effect of my the spectacles. Sorry, Raji, but basically, I'm very, very fortunate. So I know that in psychology, as well as anything that we learn, we read, even if we listen to speeches, even Eckhart Tolle, if we listen to late Louise Hay, or the main person we like listening to and giving advice, hearing advice from is Dr. Chari. And it's so nice that she brought up this particular topic, because I'm very, very, very fortunate that I was able to, in the right time, how things worked. The main issue, I won't go into that too long, but the main issues that we are facing in my circumstances is being a long distance carer, that is not having my own parents in the home with me, because I do not have the nursing facilities that they need, and neither do I have the strength to manage having both of them over here, since I myself have had 5 surgeries, and my medication is reduced, and I'm fortunate that the first surgery was by Dr. Chari in May 2000, and which has made me overcome epilepsy. But in spite of that, I have to keep to my limitations, and being a carer of parents, and relocating back to my home country, which I love, but in particular, specifically in my head, was for my parents. But the main issues is like they're not here in this home, so I'm very fortunate, because the home that they're in is a retirement home in the same city. And during the 2 years of COVID, I was lucky. I was actually able to drive there. Of course, the frequency reduced, but there were the drawbacks and the pros and the cons. The drawbacks would be, one is that you have fixed scheduled allotted time. So your whole life, your plans, your lessons, like I've been teaching online and trying to give talks, all have to fit in with the time that they're permitted to have visitors, which is fine. But which is a small discomfort. More than that is their sudden needs and wants. So every time the phone rings and the mobile shows that it's sister of the home that they're in, which is called Augustine Nivas, and a nice, well maintained and safe home for retired, 3 blocks of newly retired, 10-year retirement, and the third block where mine are. But each time the phone rings, it's like a fear. Even though you want to be positive and you want to keep thinking, okay, let's look at it as something nice, but there's that little bit of fear that, oh, now what? And sure enough, it was the last call was that your dad has fallen off the bed and he's had hip surgery, and we need you to take him to hospital. So the drawbacks with care homes is that they need to make sure that one family member is in the same city, so that they do not take responsibility if something seriously medical accident happens. And since that time, for over 10 days now, it's 2 weeks, I've been the carer for him, which is a lovely way of showing love and gratitude to parents who you've always had want an opportunity to show it to. But the avoidance of fear is one in the phone call. Then handling all the papers and the documents and the insurance and the finances, everything comes onto you. So luckily, I mentioned, I heard that you have a sibling, which makes a big difference. But when one, not a sibling, sorry, a spouse, but when one doesn't have a sibling in the same city, in the same country, and who's unable to help except for giving phone calls, then it's everything is completely on you. So it's a big, very, very big. That's why I wanted to change, and I even in my one sentiment when I was going mad, because everything, as we know in our country here, works through contact. If you don't know someone, you will be just treated like any layman. And I experienced that in the hospital. I experienced that with the ambulance. Long queue, St. John's Hospital, one of the best reputed, but because of circumstances as they are, I had to go through patience to the maximum, waiting, and listening to my dad, an 89-year-old, crying, and he's been through a lot, so I know very well doesn't actually point out something unless it's serious, in severe pain. But only when I was able to actually, it's a pity that one has to raise one's voice, because you say it's first polite, second polite stage, third polite stage, like we communication of patience, but only when one does some threatening thing, like saying, no, I have now had enough, no one has come, I do not know what's happened, can you tell me what is that? You have to raise your voice and talk firmly for action to take place. Has anyone else experienced this?
I think everybody has gone through that, and Joya is particularly stressed because she's caring for a mother who's got Alzheimer's and her father who's 89 years old and recently had a fall. So, and she herself, she has been one of my star patients of epilepsy surgery, because after her surgery in 2000, she has had no seizures. She was getting about 15 seizures a month from the age of 13 till 34 before that. So for that, I really praise her for the way she has learned how to get over. She's doing more than many so-called normal people are doing. And that is why I asked her to be part of our discussion today.
Thank you. That's
yeah,
very
Sher, come on, Shireen.
Hi, doctor. Good
Hi,
evening.
hi.
And yeah, thanks. Actually, I'm very happy to be part of this. I know when you did a seminar or a workshop once in Severa, I was the first person to attend it, also join. And then we were kind of out of touch. Yeah, I'm a caregiver again. I don't know. I think mothers are caregivers from the time we give birth to our children, first of all. And then my father-in-law, not much, but my mother-in-law was a bedridden patient. Yeah, 6 years back, she passed away. She was a very difficult person. Sometimes, yes, we lose our cool. You get stressed. I go cry to my hubby. But then at one point, when you see what a dynamic woman she was and why is she like this, that breaks our heart. But off late, in the last 7 years, it's my mom and dad. I moved them and they are with me. Dad just completed 95 yesterday. And mom is 85. Dad overall had led a very simple and a clean life. So generally, no major problems with him. But yes, recently I spoke to Doc, the small aging problems he's been having. He's been very and then he's able to manage and stuff. But he's becoming a little clingy towards me, like I shouldn't go out. Suddenly, he's become like that in the last 1 year, probably after COVID. If I say, even for like 12, why do you have to go? Why do you keep going out? Like I said, Dad, I have a life, I have children, I have a husband. But then he's like, he sulks. And then he started doing that kind of thing. Mom is quite healthy, but she is starting to get, Doc, I will be coming to you soon. She's starting to forget a lot of stuff. She repeats stuff. Otherwise, she's 85 and healthy. What really hits me is, Doc and the friends here, I see we give so much attention. I do have a good infrastructure, a lot of good team. but I am there. But constantly, wherever, if I go to a party or even if I'm traveling, constantly it's in your head. Are they okay? Did they give the medicine? However good they are, we want to call and check. Did you give the medicine? Did you do this? And I have completely put the house on cam. So wherever I am, I'm trying to tend, my sister and brother say, don't keep looking. We are here around, we'll take, and I'll tell, why is the door closed? Why haven't they opened up? That constant stress is there in your head. Point one. Point two is sometimes the way, they keep clingy and they demand. I keep wondering, we are here to give that kind of a care, but who will take care of me when I get to that stage? That fear is setting in, because our children are so different, their way of thinking, everything, like, that's okay, mom. If it comes, you will deal it, that kind. And they're all living separate. I am constantly wondering, what if I get this? What if I there when I need, who will be there? That is freaking me out totally. And yes, now earlier it was easy when my in-laws and all, but now I am also 58. For me also one day I'm like, I want to wake up late and do, but then, all these things keep coming into the head. Then you tell, no, we shouldn't be that shallow. It's our mom, it's our dad, we do. But the fear of who will take care of me is lingering in my.
Yeah, it's a very real fear. And I think you're not the only one. Everybody goes through that.
Yeah. So that is, Doc, you really have to have a session for that, to come out of that. It's really freaking me. I'm really.
No, this program which I have envisaged and put together, I feel very sad that not enough people come. See, 11 registrations, but I don't know why they have not turned up. So people don't show commitment. They've just registered. Yes, the day before yesterday, we had 19 registrations and only 3 people showed up. But look at me. I am I won't quit kind of person. So I think if I impact one life, one person, some kind of ripple effect will happen. And I've taken a lot of trouble to put together this program. In fact, I'll just, if all of you can give me permission to do this, I will just take you through a just very short presentation. And how are we going to get your information? Do you want to chat? You can put it on the chat if you're unable to unmute. You can keep typing there. I will do the presentation and
I can.
We can hear you. Lovely.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Please talk.
Yeah.
Anne is in charge of the Multiple Sclerosis Society of India, Chennai branch. So I told her to share what the patients have, because multiple sclerosis is a disabling disease. And the people who look after them, they have a very tough time. And Anne has been interacting with all these people for several years. So I thought she could bring some very useful insights. Go ahead. I'm so glad we can hear you.
I wonder if all of you all or any of you all have heard of multiple sclerosis. Dr. Pritika Chari, the neurologist, so she knows very well. But multiple sclerosis is a degenerating disease of the central nervous system, that is the brain and spinal column. And once this disease comes, it repeatedly and unexpectedly affects the young people in the prime of their life. The symptoms of multiple sclerosis are varied. It can start off from extreme fatigue, visual disturbances to paralysis, and it affects you in your day-to-day tasks. Actually, there are 41 invisible symptoms of multiple sclerosis. So you can understand from maybe the age of 14, 15, if a person has MS, it's a lifelong relationship between the caregiver and the MS person. And in India, the word caregiving means either it's a family member. We still, as on date, do not have institutions that give, either they are costly or the people are not trained well to look after caregiving. Now, in multiple sclerosis, either there are youngsters who are going to school who have it. Now they are laid back. What happens to a young person who is ill and not able to move out and be part of a school? On the other hand, we have people who have been ill for many, many years and are bedridden. So caregiving in multiple sclerosis is a long-term time for caregiving. Now, what happens when either your mother, your father, your brother or sister is housebound because of caregiving? you get multiple factors into play. It can be mental, it can be physical, it can be social, etc. God was good to me. I didn't have to do caregiving till 2 years ago when my sister came, a doctor came to me with blood cancer. And I really went through the chores of caregiving in the last 2 years. Luckily, as I said, it was COVID. I was forced to stay home. Otherwise, for a person like me who was always going out, going to my office in the morning, coming back, visiting patients in the afternoon, coming back, I found it a relief to be able to look after somebody. Well, caregiving is not easy. It's not easy. I can understand all of you all are doing caregiving. It's not easy. It not only takes a physical toll on you, but more, I think today in Indian context, it takes a mental toll. Because the caregiver can find no relief. Most often, a few friends will understand what you're going through. But most often, people will not understand the difficulties a caregiver goes through because the moods of the caregiver, the moods of the patient, the wants of the patient, the expectations of the patient, when you can't meet them, particularly in MS, cognition is a big factor. Many people lose cognition or tend to get very, very angry. So what happens when you're trying to do your best for the MS person, but the only gift you get back from them is their anger, or their shouting, or the refusal to do what you want them to do. Sometimes soiling, when you try to tell them, come, put on a diaper, come, put on an underpad, they refuse. And all you've got to do is clean the mess. Then it can be very, very exasperating, I should say. That's what I tell. I counsel my MS caregivers about it. I tell them, look, don't reach that stage where you reach a stage of exasperation and you want to throw up your hands. In India, it's very difficult to get a caregiver, or it's very costly, or even if you pay, you can't get one because they're not trained. Actually, recently, Vidya Saga, along with the government of Tamil Nadu, has started a training program for caregiving. And one of our MS persons is involved. We are also hoping to get involved with them to get trained caregivers. The people we get today are people who can help, but they are really not trained to help, particularly people with disability. In my case, most of our MS patients are disabled in some form or the other, physically, mentally, whatever it is. The only thing that we can give them is give the caregiver a lot of solace, try to help them understand the nuances of the disease, try to chalk out plans for medication for the patient, try to regularize hospital visits. At the same time, have meetings. Every alternative month, we have a meeting at our multiple sclerosis Chennai chapter for the caregiver. And then we try to arrange volunteers to sit maybe 1 hour, half an hour with the MS person at home. Or if the person can come along, come along. We'll have a separate entertainment for the MS person and the caregiver. We celebrate October, the month of the caregiver, where we award prizes to them to make them feel good about the difficulties they are going through year after year. So this is what we do at the multiple sclerosis.
Thank you so much, Anne, because you've brought in a lot of insight. And I just want all of you to give me permission to run through my presentation, which will highlight why I have even thought of having this kind of a initiative. We did some of this in the meeting, which I did 2 days ago. But what we are trying to do is we want people to understand that caregiving is usually, it is informal caregiving. It is usually a family member. It is usually an unpaid job, and it impacts the social, emotional, and financial health of the caregiver. And when it reaches a negative state, it is called a caregiver burden. And when it goes beyond that, it creates a negative health outcome in the caregiver. They can get depressed, they can get a lowered immune system, their blood pressure goes up, and in course of time, they get into burnout. And also it has been clearly documented that chronic caregivers live less duration. I mean, their longevity is affected. They have a higher mortality rate than the average person. It has been shown that 59% of caregivers have exhausted their personal savings. 53% report feeling alone. 41% say they have fair or poor emotional or mental health. And they say 67% say providing care is emotionally stressful. So it is so important that self-care does not mean caring for yourself alone. By taking care of yourself, you're actually taking better care of the people who are under your care. So you have to learn how to take care of yourself. And this initiative is caring for the carer or helping the caregiver learn how to look after themselves. Now, there are some support services in India, not a lot, as Anne was saying, even for a condition like MS, which has got a lot of disability, which requires a lot of support services. We don't have very efficient support services. So many parts of the India, the caregivers gets the whole burden. They have to deal with the emotions of grief, resentment, anger, guilt, helplessness. Like Joya was saying, you feel helpless sometimes. And like Anne was saying, that you don't get an ambulance when you want an ambulance. So many people who perform the duties of a caregiver, they don't think of themselves as being special or being a caregiver, that they have to take the trouble to look after themselves. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. They are so immersed in the caregiving role that they don't even think that it is something they need and that they need support. So they also don't access support services when they're available. They believe that it's a natural extension of being a spouse or a parent or a child. Then, of course, in the family, as Raji was saying, many people think that so-and-so looked after mummy. So in my case, for instance, I looked after my father. So I'm automatically assumed to be the person to look after my mother after my father passed. I have two sisters, but neither of them thought it was important for them to be a caregiver. So what family identity comes, and we are three girls, so we cannot say gender norming in our family. But in many families where there is only one girl and two boys or three boys in the siblings, the caregiving burden falls on the woman. And after that, it becomes your master identity. You don't function, like Raji said, for a period of time, she disappeared. She was only this caregiver, 24 hours a day. There was nothing else. Like Shireen was saying, that when she wants to go out, it is considered something you're made to feel guilty. And after a while, what happens? You get engulfed in that role and you lose yourself. So what do family caregivers need? They need some transition into care. Like Joya has done, the parents need it to be moved to a home. They need access to formal support. They need communication. They need information. They need to understand being responsible for everything need not necessarily be, they must be taught how to delegate. And they have to understand the importance of accessing support. When we talk about taking care of yourself, we talk about physical well-being, psychological well-being. And we think it's only healthy diet, physical activity, weight management, health checkup. But let me tell you, though it is just these things, caregivers don't even do this. They either become sedentary, they put on weight, they lose weight, they don't eat properly, they don't go for their routine checkups. They have a lot of issues, and they don't remember that they need care. Psychological well-being, kindness. Yes, these caregivers are extremely kind people because they're able to put up with so much from so many people. And as Parveen was saying, the spirituality, the gratitude, and like Raji said, you feel you're the chosen one. That's one way of consoling yourself and taking on your role in a more cheerful way. Take it as a compliment that you have been chosen to do this kind of work for somebody. And I believe in the law of karma. What goes out comes around. What goes around comes around. So don't worry, Shireen. Somebody will look after you when the time comes. Then, of course, connectedness. This is very important. What happens? Many caregivers, they become isolated. They become only the home and this and that. They cut off all social connection. They don't have time to talk to their friends. They don't have time to go out. You'll find that in our program, we have given little importance to all of these. And wellness for caregivers is not just physical and psychological. There's intellectual wellness, physical, emotional or psychological, spiritual, financial, social, occupational, and environmental. Because many caregivers, like Anne was saying, they have to go to work. They have to earn the money to pay the bills. Like in my case, I had to go to work. I had to earn the money to pay the bills of caring for my parents. So it's very crucial that we are able to balance all these dimensions of wellness better in our lives. What is intellectual wellness? We mean your ability to solve problems, to make decisions. Sometimes, you'll find that if you're burdened with too much caregiving, you find simple decisions defeat you. You must be able to have creative thinking, the ability to come up with a creative solution to a problem which may be unique only to your situation. Critical thinking. When is it right to do this? When it is not right to do this? You need self-awareness about yourself. So be open to new ideas, be creative, seek out new challenges. All of this requires intellectual wellness. And life would be boring if you'd stopped learning. So intellectual wellness is, in summary, continuous learning. So you have to listen, you have to see YouTube videos, you advocate for yourself, have your goals, values, what matters to you, pursue your personal growth. All of this comes under intellectual self-care. Physical wellness, all of us know, good immunity, sleep, exercise, nutrition, care of your teeth, your skin, your hair, your nails, your ideal weight. If you have a chronic disease, taking care of your diabetes, blood pressure, whatever. So this is also very important to remember. You need to, some of us, like for instance, when I go to the hospital, I forget to drink water, believe it or not. I can go through 3-4 hours. I'm so focused on what I'm doing that I forget to drink water. And this can happen to caregivers. So make sure you have quality sleep. Many caregivers sacrifice their sleep. Whole day they are taking care. Night again, that person may require care. So you must learn to delegate. You must learn to share responsibility. And what happens by the time you eat, one day you will eat at 12 noon, one day you'll eat at 4 o'clock, one day you won't eat at all. So this is the kind of thing depending on how much care the person whom you are looking after. And you don't schedule your routine health checks. Psychological wellness is empathy. And let me tell you, caregivers have more empathy than the average person because they're able to understand what the other person's going through. But for psychological wellness, you have to be able to manage your stress, your emotions, your interpersonal skills, how to communicate, not only with this person, but with people around who will have not very nice things to say about you, even if you are doing the best. Everything, all of that is very important, and the social interactions. So for emotional well-being, you have a whole host of things. And the most important of this is your self-esteem. How do you think about yourself? Do you think you are deserving? Do you think you're worth it? Do you think you're enough? And what our program will do is, is addressing all these elements. So in emotional self-care, you must be able to have a laugh sometime. You must be able to feel your feelings and process your emotions. You must be able to feel grateful for things happening around you. You must be able to have a little fun in your life so that you are rested, relaxed, or rejuvenated. Spiritual wellness, you need to have meaning, purpose, and it should be in tune with your values and beliefs. Sometimes in caregiving, your values and beliefs may clash with the values and beliefs of the person you're caring for. Your life goals may go for a sixer. Then you also want to be able to contribute. And part of your contribution is to the person you're caring for, but you also want to be able to contribute to the world around you because you're uniquely blessed with certain talents, which is your purpose in life to share. So you need to be able to express yourself, explore quiet time for yourself, connect with nature, understand palliative care. You must also understand that many illnesses, especially in the elderly, like Parveen said, it gets worse day by day. Unlike caregiving for a young child who might get better day by day, except if they have MS or something like that. The caregiving for an elderly, you must understand sometimes nothing more can be done. You just have to keep them comfortable and sort of, soothe them and keep them going. Financial wellness is extremely important. Caregivers need to know how to budget, how to, assign savings for themselves, how to assign money to meet the material needs, how to, stay out of debt. So I know my own family, there are people who are getting into debt because they're not being sensible about their caregiving responsibilities. So financial, you have to create a portfolio, you have to learn how to save and spend wisely, you have to find have a plan of action for your financial management. You have to do your taxes. You have to pay your bills in time. And you have to also have enough to be able to do some charity. Because when you give, you get. Social wellness is your family support, friend support. This is what saw me through when I got the cancer. So I had tremendous support from my friends because my family was very little and there's not much they could do for me. So you need to establish, but when you are social wellness, you need to establish healthy boundaries. For instance, when I had the cancer, I was very strict and I told people, you mustn't come with a long face and say, "Ayyo, unakku vandirtha," and that kind of thing. Either you come, talk, make me laugh, have some fun. Don't talk about the illness. Don't keep on feeling sorry for me. That kind of thing. You have to draw boundaries. There are days when I tell people, sorry, I don't feel well enough, don't come. You must be able to do that. So you must be able to have a coach or a mentor. You must please, when you're as a caregiver, when you feel vulnerable, do not hesitate to ask for help. And that is the platform that we are trying to create. A platform where you can be in a community and you can even ask for help from each other. Holding a job is important to generate the income. And when you're doing that, your work-life balance is difficult. Workplace, you may take out your temper on the workplace because you're frustrated by the caregiving responsibility. You may not get satisfaction in your job. You may not be exposed enough or have enough time to upskill. Like Parveen said, she was herself pursuing her graduation. Her husband was pursuing his MBBS. But yet the caregiving kept coming in the way. And she kept feeling, why me? So you need to seek some balance. You need to eat well and take care of your health if you want to maintain your work-life integration. Of course, we all have to behave responsibility with regard to the environment. And sometimes when we are caregiving, we can be careless at the way we dispose certain things or we overuse certain essential things that we utilize for the care. So caregiving is a very heterogeneous thing. There is the carer, there is the person receiving care, there are the caregiving characteristics and the caregiving context. Where are we giving it? How are we giving it? What are the characteristics? How long are we going to give it? Is it the immense caregiving like for an MS patient? Is it a prolonged caregiving like for an MS patient? Or is it somebody who had a fracture who's good 6 weeks, 8 weeks, they're okay and it's all right? Or is it just old age without much major things, but just that they become clingy like Shireen said? So for a caregiver health, we have to allocate certain tasks to the caregiver and give them the power to be able to manage those. We have to address the caregiver needs. We need to give them health promotion behaviors. And we need to take into cognizance their beliefs and attitudes. So when there's low-level wellness, we call it caregiver distress. So all these pieces of 8 dimensions of wellness, which they're like a jigsaw puzzle, which is broken and separated. Medium level, 1 or 2 pieces may fit in. But high-level wellness is what we are aiming for. When all the pieces are fitted like this, and there is a high-level wellness for the caregiver. So we want to take you from this to this, from caregiver distress to high-level wellness. And this is an important feature which caregivers need to learn how to work around or adjust to. 99% of caregivers are not appreciated. We just have to accept that as a fact. So when a person is a senior or a chronically ill person, they don't show you appreciation. Try to understand why. They are living with a chronic illness or a pain or a declining physical or cognitive ability. So they are very focused on their own suffering and they are less aware of your feelings and needs. So don't take offense. Just take it in through this year and let it out through the other. Make your self-care a priority. Learn to appreciate yourself and celebrate all your little wins in the course of the day of your caregiving. And learn to reward yourself. And rewarding yourself means giving yourself a little time, giving yourself some rest time, going to the spa, maybe having a massage, maybe just going for a walk in nature. You have to love yourself and reward yourself. So our program has a whole set of 10 modules where we will teach you your self-esteem, self-love, and teach you how to not to sabotage yourself. And try to convert sometimes stressful situations with light-hearted humor. Like, for instance, Shireen can, when a father says, why do you have to go out and do this thing? You can actually make it as if you're talking to a child and say, yeah, if I go out, I can get you this. I'm going to bring you back this, or something like that. You just sort of make it into something which is not a stressful thing, but a light-hearted humor. And don't measure how good or bad a caregiver you are based on the health of the other person. Because whether that condition gets worse or better, don't blame yourself. Many caregivers do that. They say, oh my God, I went out and I came back and so they deteriorated. It really is not true. That condition would have deteriorated anyway. But like she's got a cam and she's supervising from outside, though her sister and brother are here to take care. She has to learn to let go for a while and relax. Only then she can rejuvenate again. Also understand that your siblings may not even appreciate you. People around you may not even appreciate the fact that you're doing so much, because they don't recognize the sacrifices you are making. And they have a hard time empathizing. So one way for you to cope is share information about the caregiving work. Tell them, look, today, Daddy had a bad day. And, I found it really tough. I wish you were here with me. It would have been nice if I could have called you also to help. So share the information so they realize that there are ups and downs in the caregiving. And when somebody thanks you and appreciates you, don't say, no, what am I doing? After all, it's my mother, my father. If I don't do, who's going to do? This is what we do. So don't underplay the appreciation and thanks when somebody gives it to you. And model the behavior you'd like to see. So when the person you're caring for does something for themselves, instead of expecting you to help, appreciate them. Say, oh, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you could get up and go to the toilet on your own today without my assistance. So like that, you model the behavior and they will try to please you by trying to do more for themselves. And remember, like I told you, you're doing the caregiving because you're choosing to do it for yourself. You have decided, okay, I'm the caregiver, I will do it, I'm chosen one, I'll do it. And see it as a compliment. I already told you this. But throughout all this, please make sure that you take care of yourself. You have to learn to delegate. Something which, like Shireen was saying, you find difficult to tell. You don't think other people will do it right. You want to go and do everything yourself. So learn to delegate. Assign roles, responsibilities. Use technology. There are a lot of ways in which it can help in caregiving. And work on keeping everyone safe, including yourself. And this is a very important thing caregivers have to bear in mind. They need to have this in a book with them at all times. The availability of the medical care, the cost of the medical care, the information about the family doctor, what tests are needed when they are needed and how to access them, who are the specialists whom we have to access, what is the rehabilitative measures we have to do, what is the day-to-day care, what is covered by insurance, what is not covered by insurance. You need to have all this information as far as the medical care of the individual you're caring for is concerned. So being a caregiver can be, you can have fun one day, you can feel very optimistic, you can have a bad day, you may be approaching burnout, you may feel love, you may feel frustrated, you may feel a little guilty that you're not doing enough, or you feel guilty that you're not paying attention to somebody else in the family who actually you should be sharing your time with. So health and wellness for caregivers should ideally include adequate activity, a balance, nutrition, wellness, exercise, a healthy lifestyle, vitality. See, if you are full of energy, vitality, health, and this thing, you are likely to be a better caregiver. So you can, and also you don't get burnt out and you have value for yourself as well. So we have started this Caregiver Virtual Club. It's a 10-month program where every month there will be 1 hour of life skills, 1 hour on I matter, your self-esteem, self-love, etc. And 1 hour will be fun. So we are only telling, and it'll cost about 1,000 rupees a month because it's for 10 months, the cost is 10,000 rupees. There are no programs in May. There are no programs in December. And this will be the life skill and the iMatter will be earlier in the month, so that you have that whole month to work on it. And during the fun time, you can share and you can see how much progress you have made. So some of these, it's a good life kind of meetings will be fun meetings. They're storytelling. I'll give you the agenda. Now, this is what you will get if you join the club. This is the payment link for joining the club. It's there in the website if you want to go and see it. For anybody who joins by 10 p.m. today, you'll get a one-to-one free 10-minute session with me on the phone. You'll get an audio recording of a guided meditation by me for you to use every day. It's just 7.5 minutes. You'll get a list of 25 affirmations of health, wealth, and wellness. You'll get hard copies of a little book on life and a little book on stress, which I wrote. For those who join later, you'll get the affirmations and you'll get a little book on stress. And every 3 months, we'll be having lucky draws where 3 people it'll be random, will get 500 rupee Amazon vouchers so that you can buy yourself something you like, just a fun thing, so that, it shows that you also matter, you're valuable. Why have we called the club Aloha? Because Aloha in Hawaiian means hello and goodbye. A stands for kindness, which is expressed with tenderness. L stands for unity, which is expressed with harmony. O stands for agreeable, expressed with pleasantness. H stands for humility, expressed with modesty. A stands for patience, expressed with perseverance. So Aloha actually is telling you tenderness, harmony, pleasantness, modesty, perseverance. That is what we are trying to give you through this club. And one of the first major activities, the fun activities that you will have, is we will help you and teach you how to make a vision board for your health and wellness. The whole thing that we have talked about now, how to make a vision board for yourself. We will give you the structure on how to make a vision board. We will tell you what are the areas, all the 8 dimensions, what kind of pictures or phrases or something that can go onto the vision board. We will teach you what pictures to look for. And this is just an example. For instance, you can have your purpose of life like this. You can have your hobbies like this. You can express support like this, financial wellness like this, rest and rejuvenation like this, exercise, personal growth, good food. So we'll teach you how to make a vision board. And you will also teach you how to make what is called as a wellness wall, which every week you will make a wellness wall with the program for the week on what you will do in each of those 8 dimensions of wellness. So every day, if you do one thing towards each area of the dimension of wellness, you'll be that much better. And there'll be little activities which will guide you and which after some time you will develop yourself. So the life skill webinars will be on problem solving, decision making, creative thinking, critical thinking, self-awareness, empathy, interpersonal relationships, communications, managing stress, managing emotions. The iMatter topics are self-love, self-confidence, self-respect, how to be a nice person in spite of all the pressure, how to take in the good, value what you do, self-talk, self-sabotage, how to celebrate your wins. Then we'll give you an emotional coping toolbox and sum up the whole thing of self-care. The fun relaxation sessions will be as a coffee morning or an evening tea kind of meeting. First will be the vision board. Then we'll have a storytelling meeting. We'll have a meditation, creative visualization. We won't call it exercise, but pleasurable movement. So there'll be dance and some kind of pleasurable movement. We'll have a spa break, a movie break, a comedy break, music break, a break where we interact with children and with pets. So this is the kind of program that you will get if you join the club. And it will be a nice kind of safe space where you can speak openly, air your views. So I want each one of you to please pass on this information to someone else whom you think might benefit from it. So at the end of this, you'll be stronger, you'll be stress fit, you'll be resilient, you'll be happier, healthier, and at peace. Because life is tough, but so are you. And with that, I'd like to say aloha, which is both hello and goodbye. And I want to express my thanks to all of those caregivers who talked from the beginning of the program and to whom we were listening. Originally, it was planned to make the presentation first and then ask the others to talk. But it sort of took a flow, so we just let it flow in its own natural way. So now, just for another 5 minutes, we can all interact. What do you all think of the whole initiative? Give me your feedback. I'm open to any kind of critical feedback as well, so no problem. Just tell me what you think of this initiative. The floor is open. There are a lot of things in the chat.
Dr. Pritika Acharya, I would like to congratulate you for your thoughtfulness of, picking out this kind of people who really need help. I've gone through all that. I wish I had someone like you when I was going through that stress. I'm over all that now. I'm sure there are a lot more people out there who need such a thing, a networking, to share their pangs. And you're very thoughtfully put together so many aspects of a person. You've touched upon, I think, almost everything, because I've been through all that. And you beautifully brought out a presentation. I would like to congratulate you and wish you all the very best.
And please share it with anybody in your
I'll do that.
Who you feel, because it can get very lonely, People feel lonely and isolated, and it's difficult. It's not easy.
It is tough.
It is tough.
It's very tough, very, very tough.
Yeah.
Your children are young, you can't share, and your husband is busy, and you're just alone. You're just alone.
Okay, Shireen, no problem. Log out. Go. You have your caregiving responsibility.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, thanks, Parveen. Thank you so much.
Yes,
Shireen, thank you very much. Please go and feed your parents. Okay, Joya. What did you think, Joya? Do you think it's a good program?
Yes, it was very a good idea. Thank you, Dr. Chari. That's very thoughtful of you, as you always are, because it makes one feel that one is not doing it. It helps us realize that we're not the only ones going through these challenges, and it gives us more of an outlook, a braver outlook, and a little more determination and acceptance of our circumstances. Because, like we've been communicating by chat, sometimes you have that feeling of guilt which we don't want to have. So we do the maximum, our best, especially if the past has been a challenge for them, as personally. So then you're trying to repay them as much as you can, do as much as you can. And your circumstances, for example, I'm really lucky and fortunate because my circumstances allow me to be able to do the maximum I can, since I do not have children and others to look after except the two of them. So you view them as children. So each one's circumstances. But like we've been chatting, the main thing I think is that making sure that we ourselves keep our own health. What Dr. Chari, would you say that it's reality based and not selfish based?
Correct.
That it's not to feel guilty if we are prioritizing our own self, like you mentioned in the presentation, having a break sometimes, even just for 2 days, it just revitalizes one. So all the best, everyone.
By this 1 hour, just 3 hours in a month, I'm at least sowing the seed in you, and you will work on that concept for that 1 month. That's why I'm not overloading you with too frequent webinars and too much stuff. So it'll be just one skill to work on, for 2 skills to work on, and 1 hour of fun. Okay, Anne, what do you think, Anne?
Doctor, it was a wonderful program, Doctor. And one of these days when physical meetings are allowed, I will definitely ask you to come and talk to our caregivers. And maybe then we can have a program for the caregivers of multiple sclerosis patients.
Yeah, we can probably create something for them.
Yes.
Because their challenges are different.
Yes, yes.
Hari Krishna, உனக்கு என்ன புரிஞ்சதுப்பா? Unmute பண்ணிக்கோ. இந்த மைக்க ஓபன் பண்ணணும்.
ஹலோ.
சொல்லுங்க.
The wonderful idea, madam. And hello.
சொல்லுங்க கேக்குது.
கேக்குதா மேடம்? ஓகே. நெக்ஸ்ட் மந்த் 22 வந்து உங்களை பாக்குறேன் மேடம். நான் வரலான்னு இருக்கேன். பர்சனலா பார்க்கணும்.
வாங்க வாங்க. நீங்க மே மாசம் நான் இருக்க மாட்டேன்.
இல்ல ஏப்ரல் மேடம். ஏப்ரல்
நான் சொல்றேன் மே மாசம் என் ஹெல்த் கேருக்கு, என் கேன்சர் செக்அப், கேட்ராக்ட் சர்ஜரி, பல்லு வேலை எல்லாம் ஆல் ஆர் ஷெட்யூல் ஃபார் மே. மை செல்ஃப் கேர்.
ஓகே, थैंक यू. சிஸ்டர் நல்லா இருக்காங்களா?
அவங்க அவ்வளவு நல்லா இல்ல. So all of us have our own challenges. So thank you all so much for turning up and for, really participating. And I never feel bad when there are less number of people. I only feel bad that more people are not benefiting. Less people irundanga, I still feel I have to give you the full value, which I do always. But if more people come, more people will benefit. Today what we have done is, I have learned how to stream this. I've now decided that every free webinar I do, I will live stream on YouTube. So today we have live streamed this on YouTube.
Yes, ma'am.
So hopefully other people would have also seen it.
And Dr. Chaudhary, I'm sorry, I'll just tell you one little bit that also is happening now, which is helpful, is that I've been asked to give to take over the soft skills training of nurses in a big agency, so that because of that, the soft skills training, because they have their newly qualified nurses and caregivers. So that's somewhat trying to link EFL with that,
Good,
so that'll be a big challenge, and I'll share that with you.
I'm so glad that you're doing that.
Fine.
So good night, everybody. Have a
Good
wonderful
night,
rest of
everyone.
the
Bye.
evening. And take care of yourselves.
Night,
and
doctor.
thank you once again.
Thank you, doctor.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, bye. Bye, everyone.
Right.